the homestand here this Sunday afternoon. An absolutely gorgeous day for baseball. The Crew wrapping up a 4-game set and a matchup of two first-place teams between the Brewers and the Braves after dropping Game 3 yesterday. The Brewers have a chance to win the series here this afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park. And General Manager David Stearns has preached depth from the start of spring training. That depth has been tested with a number of injuries, and that continued here this morning as the Brewers made a number of roster moves involving 8 players. So we'll take you through the moves here. The good news for the Brewers, they have activated Lorenzo Cain from the 10-day disabled list. He is back in the lineup today after dealing with a left groin strain. But 2 position players down. Manny Pena placed on the 10-day DL with a left bicep strain, and Ryan Braun placed on the DL for the second time this season with a back strain. We get an update from General Manager David Stearns on the injuries to these 2 players, Pena and Braun, and what that means for them for the second half of the season.
Both Manny and Brawny have a little bit of some muscle strains. Obviously, Brawny's been dealing with the sore back on and off for the majority of the season, really. Manny strained a bicep during a swing a couple days ago. We think both of these are relatively minor injuries. You never know until you really get into the healing process, but we would expect both these guys to be back shortly after the All-Star break.
The Brewers have also selected the contract of 23-year-old Corbin Burns, the organization's top pitching prospect. Remember, he was the team's minor league pitcher of the year a year ago. He'll be called up for his major league debut. You see the rest of the players affected here. Jacob Nottingham recalled to take the spot of Manny Pena. Nate Orff will stay with the team to take the spot of Ryan Braun. Aaron Wilkerson started yesterday's game. He's been optioned back to AAA, and lefty reliever Mike Zagurski designated for assignment. So as we go up to our game announcers, Craig Kashan and Bill Schroeder, guys, there's a lot to digest from all those moves here, but certainly the good news for the Crew, getting Lorenzo Cain back and the impact that he's had with this team.
Now you got Cain back and Braun and Pena, 2 guys that you can almost hit the reset button by the time the All-Star break is up, and that's probably the 3 best-case scenarios right now for this club.
Yeah, and again, I mean, the Brewers have covered injuries extremely well so far this year. Best record in the National League. There's been guys on and off that disabled list just about the entire season. Lorenzo Cain missed 12 games. And the team had a very good record in that stretch, so they were able to cover Lorenzo Cain. Good to have him back in the lineup. It's tough to be a leader when you're on the DL, but the Brewers did a pretty good job of that. You know, with Braun and Pena, I think if the All-Star game wasn't as close as it is right now, they might not be on the disabled list. You get those extra days, those extra 4 with the All-Star break, and the Brewers maybe get a couple of guys fresh, ready to go, you know, for the second half. It's good to see Jacob Nottingham back. He's the second time, you know, he's been with the ball club. But you know, the Brewers already have used 46 different players on the roster. Franchise record 1969 with the Seattle Pilots, 53. But you know what? You don't realize, though, last couple of years the Brewers used 50 guys in each of those last 2 years. So this is not something that's unusual. What is unusual, though, 46 players before the All-Star break. That's a lot.
That, and today, 8 players moving around in the system for Milwaukee. This guy's not. He's ready to jump on the mound. Junior Guerra wants to finish this homestand strong, get another win for the Brew Crew. Chance for a big series win against the Braves coming up. Hubie and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Hubie and Abraham, tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Back here at Miller Park, it is family day, one of the best days of the season on a Sunday afternoon for the ball players. The little guys get to jump around with Dad and have a good time on the field. Junior Guerra among those. He will start today for the Brewers against the left-hander Sean Newcomb, the youngster making his 18th start of the season, but all the focus on Junior Guerra, who won his last start against the Minnesota Twins and is going to try to carry the Milwaukee Brewers to a series win over the Braves here this afternoon before they embark on another week-long road trip. Best team in the NL looks to get back on track. We'll have the start of today's game coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. This one, dead center field, and long pond for Aguilar off the scoreboard. Here's the 1-2. Struck him out. Game over. Brewers a winner. It is shaped up to be quite a series, and Lorenzo Cain is back for Game 4. That's the good news for Milwaukee. They have the best record in the National League. Atlanta just behind at 50-38. The Brewers, though, 53-36 as they continue to ride high on the senior circuit. So that outfield with Yelich and Cain all returning this week looking pretty sharp. Sophia Minner, Bill Schroeder, I'm Craig Kashan. Welcome back to the broadcast. 82 and sunny, a perfect Sunday afternoon for baseball here in Milwaukee. It's the Braves and the Brewers here, and the Braves batting order, it's going to be Inciarte, Albies, and Freeman. The first three to face Guerra, then Markakis, Suzuki behind the plate, Camargo at third, Culberson out left today, Swanson at short, and Sean Newcomb is the left-handed pitcher going on the mound for the Braves here today. And Junior Guerra all set to roll here, Rock, in his 17th start.
Yeah, really good start his last time out against the Twins right here at Miller Park. 5 innings, only 2 hits, no runs for Junior. Making start number 17, 287 earned run average, at a POTA batting average at 217. Good stuff from Junior.
Ender Inciarte swings and misses at the first pitch of the ball game, and we are underway here at Miller Park. Braves a 5-1 winner in yesterday's game, Saturday afternoon game here in Milwaukee. So they win the first game in this series
The Brewers winning on Thursday and Friday. And another strike poured in from Guerra. Brewers could not solve Anibal Sanchez in yesterday's game. Almost untouchable into the 7th inning. They managed just 4 hits and 6 base runners against him. One of those days offensively.
Yeah, that happens every now and again. The starting pitching for the Braves has been good all season long. One of the better earned run average as far as starters go. 3rd best in the NL at .354 coming into play today.
Brian Snitker, the manager for the Braves. 2-2 the count now on Inciarte. Aaron Wilkerson got the spot start yesterday for Brent Suter. He had a rough first inning as all 3 days the Brewers have watched the Braves grab a lead in the 1st inning. Junior Guerra trying to end that here this afternoon. It's not easy playing from behind from the get-go.
Yeah, a couple of come from behind victories on the first 2 games of the series, but you can't count on that every day.
Count full now after an 0-2 start for Guerra. Here's the payoff, but it misses outside, so Guerra loses Inciarte.
Let's check out the defense for the Brewers here today. Sight for sore eyes. Lorenzo Cain back in center field. Keon Broxton did a heck of a job defensively out there while he was on his disabled list. Yelich and Perez flank him on either side. You got Shaw, Saladino, VR, Aguilar from 3rd to 1st, and Eric Kratz getting to start behind home plate. Once again, Manny Pena placed on the disabled list before today's game.
There's Lorenzo Cain out in his usual spot in center field. And you mentioned earlier the Brewers 8-4 during the 12 games he was on the DL. Inciarte over at first after the leadoff walk. He leads the National League with 23 stolen bases, so Guerra's going to have to keep an eye on him. Eric Kratz could get tested early.
Inciarte's he was thrown out in this series trying to steal a base. Manny Pena got him. Don't get thrown out too often.
Ozzie Albies has been a nice compliment to Inciarte at the top of that order. They're quite the 1-2 punch. Albies leads the National League in runs, doubles, extra base hits. Check on Inciarte over at first. Brewer pitchers have done a nice job keeping these hot Braves hitters up and down this lineup, some of the best, especially the top half of the order in the entire National League. When it comes to hits, batting average, getting on base, moving base runners around, extra base hits.
Brewers, starting pitching just continues to get better and better. Their end run average at .385. Outstanding work out of those guys. The Brewers bullpen, as it has been all season long, 2nd best at .311. They've been good all year.
Two balls and no strikes to Albies. Fouls went off. And I mentioned how hot these hitters are all season long. You take a look at what Albies, Freeman, and Markakis so far in this series, they have produced, Rock.
Yeah, 4 RBIs is all. I mean, and all 3 of them have done a good job driving in runs. So, the hits are there for those guys, but, you allow the hits when it really doesn't mean much, when they're not driving in runs. That's a key.
And the other thing that's been important, the Brewer pitchers, whether it's starters or relievers, have done a nice job keeping them on base. And there's a nice double play started by Jesus Aguilar. And that's just what Junior Guerra needed right there.
I'm not sure what Guerra and home plate umpire Quinn Walcott are talking about. Didn't need any help. Guerra just kind of stops because basically Aguilar's right at the bag as he gets rid of that throw. And an easy double play, 3-6-3.
That's interesting because as soon as Aguilar caught the ball, he looked to his left.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were looking at.
Two down for Freddie Freeman. This is how you want to face these Atlanta batters, especially the top half of that order, with nobody on base. How about Freddie Freeman yesterday, missing the cycle by a home run? He had the single, double, and triple in Saturday's win for Atlanta. .310 on the season with 16 home runs and 58 RBIs.
And very good defensively over there at first base. Looking forward to this evening when the All-Star team is announced.
Absolutely.
Got to figure some Brewers are going to be on there. Speaking of All-Stars, Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, if you're looking at first base, we could see Freddie Freeman and Jesus Aguilar together get named, voted in. Freddie Freeman was in the final fan voting, was at the top of the list for first baseman.
Well, Jesus certainly deserves to be on the team for sure. Whether he gets there, who knows?
And this one into right field for a base hit. Freeman, a big turn, will hold at first with the 2-out single.
Yeah, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win here tonight. We're talking about Junior Guerra and that split-fingered fastball. Augie did a good job describing the difference in the grip on the pregame show. It was a really good splitter for him last time out against Minnesota. Now, Newcomb has a terrific curveball, and he's got a plus fastball to go with it. We've been talking about 46 different players for the Brewers already. Here we are in the first half of the season. Franchise record, 53 different players. That was from the 69 Pilots.
Kind of a difference between the 69 Pilots and the 2018 Milwaukee Brewers,
right,
too.
Yeah.
Talk about a team that was in existence for one season before moving to Milwaukee. Here's Nick Markakis.
It's usually 3's a charm, but I figured I'd go 46 as a charm. Hey, it's Sunday.
Everything's a charm on a Sunday.
I'm trying.
What's wrong with today, right?
Beautiful.
What a beautiful day for baseball here at Miller Park. Does not get any better than this to have the roof open, 82 degrees.
Yep, humidity broke a few days ago. It's been gorgeous here.
Brewers have a chance to cap off this homestand with a win here today and a 6-1 mark. It's been a fabulous homestand. And then they go on the road for 8 games in 7 days coming up before the All-Star break. So it's going to be a loaded road trip to Miami and Pittsburgh. Doubleheader there next Saturday.
Yeah, Brewers get to add another player to the roster. It could be 47 different guys. When you have a doubleheader, baseball allows you to add another either position player or pitcher, whichever you choose. We'll see how they do it.
Two balls and 1 strike on Markakis. Freeman over at first. And this one into center field, a base hit. Freeman, big turn, and he will go into third base.
Well, the two approaches for Freeman there and Markakis is just incredible. That's why these guys are hitting 300. You know, the way they're able to pull their hands in and get to pitches that are actually in off the plate. That one a little bit too much of the plate, but you know, it got jammed a little bit, as did Freeman, but able to keep it in the zone long enough to muscle it out there. A little bit of a bobble. I don't think it's going to be an error. We'll see. And right off the heel of the glove, and I think that's what prompted Freddie Freeman to take third base.
Lorenzo Cain, his first game back, as you take a look at the NL hits leaders right now. Markakis, Albies, and Freeman, 3 of the top 4, and Scooter Gennett, the former Brewer, right in the middle of that pack. There's Kurt Suzuki. An error on Cain has been registered, allowing Freeman to go to third, so that's official.
Yeah, it looked like he was willing to stop at second until the ball kicked off the glove.
Not too many changes in the lineup day after day for Brian Snitker. Kurt Suzuki splitting catching duties back in there today. Pretty good offensive threat from the plate. Freddie Freeman and Nick Markakis, by the way, the two runners on, are the only two Braves, and a rarity among baseball right now. They played in every game. It's their 89th start in their 89th game here. Center field, Kane on the move. Puts his hand up and the glove and makes the catch. And Junior Guerra has some base runners, but no runs as the Brewers come to bat. The bat here in the bottom of the first inning, and it's going to be Jonathan Villar to lead things off for Milwaukee at second base, and Christian Yelich, Lorenzo Cain back off the DL, Jesus Aguilar in the cleanup role, Travis Shaw, Hernan Perez out in right today, Tyler Saladino the shortstop ahead of Eric Kratz and Junior Guerra batting ninth.
And Newcomb's second year with the Atlanta Braves. He made 19 starts a year ago. Last time out, the Yankees put one on him pretty good. 2 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs. He had some control problems. He walked 5 guys. A guy that has a very good curveball and a plus fastball. So the Brewers have their work cut out for him here today. This starting rotation for the Atlanta Braves is as good as it gets.
So a ball and a strike to Jonathan Villar to open things up. Junior Guerra had a lot of traffic in that opening frame, but escapes without giving up a run. That's the good news. First time in this 4-game series the Braves have not scored in the opening frame. See if the Brewers can get things going here in their half of the first. Ball hit hard to center field. Inciarte looking up at the wall. And he's got it right at the wall in the shadows of Miller Park.
Yeah, I think Villar thought that was out of the ballpark. He's a little disappointed. Surprised that the ball was caught. Well, that's a pretty good carry on it. You figure it's going to today. There's that curveball up out over the plate, and I think Villar thought that was a home run. Right up against the fence, and Inciarte makes the catch.
We got to wonder if Inciarte thought that was gone off the bat too. A lot of plays for him out there in this series. Good center fielder for Atlanta. This is Christian Yelich. One down here in the Brewer first. And up the middle base hit. So the Brewers' first hit and first base runner of the game is Christian Yelich. And Junior Guerra, after that first inning, walking off the field and taking a look at his pitching hand, perhaps his nail, and that prompted some movement out in the bullpen. Corbin Burns actually started tossing, and
well, the good news is he sat down. He's not tossing anymore, so I would imagine whether it may have been a nail that was maybe split, or I'm not sure, but it looks like Junior's okay.
Might be something for us to keep our eye on as this game progresses.
Isn't it amazing how much attention these guys get, these starting pitchers? Now, if that was a catcher, you think we would have had a shot of that?
No way, dude. No way.
Get out there. You're fine. You don't need that nail anyway.
Your what hurts?
Yeah. Starting pitcher. Oh, my goodness.
Here's Lorenzo Cain.
Did you see him? He flinched.
Cain in his first game back missed 12 on the disabled list. And we talked about this on the pregame show, the 1-2 punch. You get one of these guys on base, and this time he flies out, and that's just a table setter for the top of the lineup.
Yeah, let's check out the Braves defense. Defense has been good for Atlanta this year. Culberson, Inciarte, and Markakis in the outfield. Camargo, Swanson, Albies, and Freeman. Same infield throughout the entire series, and Kurt Suzuki behind home plate. Look for the Brewers to be aggressive on the bases. Kurt Suzuki, as good as he has been offensively, he's only thrown out 1 of 20 would-be base stealers this year.
Quinn Walcott calling balls and strikes behind the plate. Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief at first. James Hoy over at second, and Marvin Hudson, the third base umpire for today's game. Jesus Aguilar in the cleanup role today for Milwaukee, as Kristen Yelich at first. 2 down here in the Brewers half of inning number 1. 303, 20 home runs, 59 RBIs for Jesus Aguilar. Home runs ranked 3rd in the National League, the RBIs 5th. Big hack there.
Boy, if those aren't all-star numbers, I don't know what is. I mean, that's an incredible first half for Jesus Aguilar. Check it out. And the 2-strike approach and production for Aguilar. 270, good for 7th best in the league. And look at the other numbers. Good stuff.
What an adjustment. Here's the 2-strike pitch. And he fouls one into the Braves dugout. Yelich on the move. Now the All-Star teams will be announced tonight after our ball game. And the Brewers are looking to place several on that roster. They have the best record in the National League, and you would imagine they'll be well represented.
They should be.
Aguilar, a strong possibility, as you know, with the numbers there and what he's done over at first base. Cain and Yelich, you knew they were going to be potential All-Stars when they were acquired here. They're having fine seasons, command a lot of respect among their peers. And of course, Josh Hader, potentially Jeremy Jeffress as well out in that bullpen.
Yeah, a lot of candidates. We'll see who makes it. If he doesn't make it, then there's really something wrong. First half that he's had.
And Josh Hader has been spectacular, and he is rested and ready for today.
Yeah, he's had a lot of rest.
Last pitched on July 3rd, 3 full innings. That was a season high for him. Here's the 1-2 outside. In fact, yesterday in a close late inning game, I think a lot of Brewer fans would have liked to have seen Josh Hader in there, but Craig Counsell making no bones about it after the ball game, Rock, saying right now we are going to use him when we have the lead only.
Can't overuse him.
Can't pitch every game.
You got to make sure he's going to be able to, stay strong throughout the year. So those 3 innings a few days ago, and he's had what, 4 days off.
Aguilar has worked the count full now after being behind 0-2. Sean Newcomb, the lefty, delivers. And a ground ball to third. Bobbled once. Camargo's throw in time to get Aguilar and retire the side here in the first inning. Brewers make a little noise. We're through one, though, no score, heading to the second.
To the second. 8 players were involved in roster moves earlier this morning before the game for the Brewers. And we'll start with some injury updates. Lorenzo Cain back in center field. Craig Counsell saying he was on the field yesterday running. They were very pleased with how he was running coming back from that left groin strain, and obviously excited to have him back in the lineup. And 2 other position players taking the place of Cain on the disabled list. Manny Pena is dealing with a left bicep strain. That's an injury that he suffered Friday night in his second at-bat. Just wasn't able to swing after that, but did finish the game. So he's going to be shut down for a while, but they're optimistic that with that strain, they can get him back after the All-Star break next week. And Ryan Braun is back on the disabled list with the back strain. Second time he's on the DL with that injury. And Craig Counsell, remember, he was a late scratch yesterday. Just said that back was really flaring up on him yesterday. It's something he's been battling all season, but they're optimistic that with the 2 weeks off with the All-Star break, Ryan Braun will also be available when they come back from the All-Star break in the second half of the season.
Thanks, Sophia. You don't want to get into those lingering days without being able to use somebody on your active roster for too much longer, especially this week with the doubleheader coming up, the road trip. You want guys that are fresh, especially going into this All-Star break right now. So Ryan Braun will be on that DL, and you sure would expect him to be raring and ready to go after the All-Star break.
Well, I think the Brewers have covered injuries extremely well this year. We talked about it on our open. I mean, there's been guys on and off the DL, guys have come up from the minor leagues and have done a good job. When you think about it, you lose Braun in the outfield. You got Broxton that can fill in, Thames you throw out there, and those are 2 pretty good replacements.
Yeah, they're loaded and getting healthier out there, so that's the good news for sure for Milwaukee right now with that outfield. You've got Perez out there today, so you've got guys who can cover positions. So the good news for Junior Guerra coming out, we showed you potentially irritated with that hand, not sure after that first inning, got the strikeout to open things up against Camargo. And now here's Charlie Culberson and into the gap, and this will get all the way to the wall, off the wall, and Perez will play it, and a 1-out double for Charlie Culberson for the Braves.
Yeah, hit that one pretty well. It was slicing as it got out there. It went further and further away from Cain. And Culberson with double number 11 on the season. And that one pretty much right down the middle, right down the chute. And Culberson drives it to the opposite field. Good swing. And it slices away from Cain as he tracks it down. And Yeah, right off the base of the fence.
Runner in scoring position for Dansby Swanson. Braves made some noise in the first inning against Junior Guerra, but he was able to get out of there without giving up a run. Bottom part of the order here now. Swanson, the number 8 hitter. And then the pitcher, Sean Newcomb, on deck.
And it's so important to be able to handle the bottom of this batting order because the top of the order is so good. I guess that's the way it is for every team, but with the way these Atlanta Braves can swing the bat, you can't allow the bottom of the order to do any damage.
Well, now when you have 3 of the top 4 hitters in the National League in the same lineup, and Brewer pitchers have had a heavy dose in a 4-game series, no doubt. They've gotten on base, but Milwaukee pitching has done a really nice job of limiting what could have been some big-time damage.
Yeah, particularly on Friday. I mean, the Atlanta Braves had 3 on the board. Second and third, nobody out, down by a run, and the Brewers were able to get out of it. Yeah, Dan Jennings doing a good job. That's what you're talking about. The Braves have been able to put men on base, but the Brewer pitching staff has limited damage big time.
The Brewer relief corps second in the National League with a 3.11 ERA. Their starting staff 6th with a 3.54 ERA. Called strike 3 on Dansby Swanson. He's barking a bit at Quinn Wolcott.
A little risky dropping the bat like that. I mean, you could that's easily, sometimes that just gets you thrown out right away.
Could be the message that Quinn Wolcott is saying. Right now, you are lucky to be here.
Yeah, it looked like it was a little bit off the plate.
All right, 2 down now for the pitcher, Sean Newcomb. He's got Culberson out at second base. That's where Junior Guerra wants to leave him.
There's a big strike zone here. This guy's 6'5", 255 pounds.
He does have an RBI. 074 coming into this at bat. Another strike, so Guerra ahead. 0-2.
Yeah, big dude. Don't hit his bat. He might knock one out of here.
Newcomb doesn't bite. Culberson back to second base. Eric Kratz making his 2nd consecutive start behind the plate for Milwaukee.
He's going to have a busy week ahead of him before the All-Star break. He and Jacob Nottingham. Nottingham getting called up today. His 2nd time with the team. Nottingham.
Here's the 1-2 to the Braves pitcher, and he strikes out. So Guerra takes care of business. A 1-out double to Culberson, and he's still on base. Brewers coming to bat in the 2nd, no score.
road after today's game, and the LA Dodgers come to town for a 3-game weekend series, Friday, July 20th through Sunday the 22nd. Check out the complete schedule, which features a strap-back hat giveaway on Friday and a Ryan Braun starting lineup figurine giveaway on Sunday. That's all at Brewers.com.
Travis Shaw leads off the Brewers' second inning against Sean Newcomb. Lefty versus lefty here. No score from Miller Park. Early action. Travis Shaw 240 with 15 home runs and 49 RBIs on the season. Brewers trying to grab the win here today and win the series. Never easy winning a 4-game series, even at home. Especially the matchups we've had between these two clubs. Kind of a premier matchup in the National League as Shaw pops one up in the infield. Swanson looking into that sun for the first out. And Travis Shaw was in action earlier today with his daughter Ryan. Look at beautiful Ryan here at Family Day today. All the players' family, their kids, their wives, their extended family, all here to enjoy some time on the field. And what a story to have little Ryan here on hand. She was born last year here in Milwaukee and had the heart condition. Went into Children's Hospital here at Freighter, and boy, took great care of her, and they continue to monitor her. And what a beautiful baby she's turning out to be.
No kidding. It really puts things in perspective for players. I mean, they realize that every single day, but it's nice to be able to get them out on the field, put the little jerseys on them, and hang out with Dad before a game. Had my grandkids out here today. It was a lot of fun. Went out birdie slide. Of course, I didn't. I'm afraid to go up there, but the little ones did.
That's a big slide for little kids.
I know. They're brave. They had some face painting going on down in right field. I didn't do that either.
You didn't, or they didn't?
I didn't. I was tempted.
Maybe you should have considered that, Rob.
Put a
for
ball
one
and
day.
glove logo on my cheek.
Hernan Perez bats here in the second with one down.
I will say this: the Milwaukee Brewers are about as family friendly as any organization in all of sports. They realize the importance of that for the guys. Make the family feel like they're a part of things around here.
Perez draws the walk. So a one-out base runner for Milwaukee. Perez's son Christopher is a big hit, you know, here too at the ballpark almost every day. He likes imitating a lot of different ball players and their batting stances, and a lot of these guys are fortunate to have their families around for a good chunk of the summer and hang out with them down in the clubhouse and on the field in the middle of the afternoon of a night game. Tyler Saladino, the batter.
It's important. Guys are away from families enough. Let them hang out a little bit.
I think back in the day, Rock, and during your playing days, I'm sure you saw enough kids in the clubhouse, but that has changed, though, with the amount of time and when they're in there and when they're not, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we never really were allowed to have the kids in the clubhouse. You know, back when I was playing, things were a little bit different back then, and clubhouses weren't as expansive, and it was kind of a smaller setting, but always did have the family trips. I mean, the West Coast trip was always a popular trip to put the families on. Yeah, the key is, though, I mean, you have the kids in the clubhouse, but you know, sometimes during the game can be a bit of a distraction. Who's taking care of them, right? The guys are playing.
Right. Always responsibility as a parent, no matter where you are. 2 balls and a strike to Saladino. Missing again low, 3-1.
The Brewers do have a family room in the service level that's just a little bit down from the clubhouse door, where they have folks taking care of the kids while the dads are playing, the moms are watching.
And consecutive walks drawn by Milwaukee here in the second inning as Saladino reaches.
And I mentioned that Newcomb had 5 walks his last time out against the Yankees. Lasted only 2 2/3 innings against New York. 5 hits. I should say 7 hits and 5 runs allowed. One of his worst starts of the season. This guy's been pretty good.
Pitching coach Chuck Hernandez out to, actually he's not out there. It was just a meeting between the shortstop and the catcher.
Yeah, the splits for Newcomb interesting. You know, against teams that are under 500, he's 5-0 and a 182 earned run average. Teams that he's faced that are over 500, 3-3 earned run average around 5.
Yeah, that 2 2/3 his last time out, his shortest of the season. Those 5 walks, they were a killer for sure. Here's Eric Kratz trying to take advantage, and the ball pops away from the catcher Suzuki. So the Brewers now have 2 in scoring position with only 1 out.
There's that knuckle curve. He digs that fingernail in the laces of the baseball and spikes it in front of Suzuki. That one bounces well in front of home plate. Look at that pitch. I mean, that's about 3 feet in front of the plate.
One ball, no strikes to the Brewer catcher. Brewers have a chance here to get on the board first. Take that gift from Newcomb.
Big
2
at bat
consecutive
here.
walks.
Yeah, big at bat here for Kratz. You got the pitcher on deck. Infield is back, conceding a run.
Kratz looking for his first hit on the homestand, 0 for 9. It'd be nice to get his bat cranked up a little bit here, knowing how many starts he's going to be gaining here with Pena going on the DL. 2 for his last 31 with no home runs after that hot start when the Brewers acquired him in mid-May. And he strikes out on maybe a ball high in the zone.
Yeah, a couple of pitches out of the strike zone. Kratz chases. That's a huge out for Newcomb. Now you got the pitcher coming up. Kratz noticeably upset with himself.
Here's Junior Guerra. About a 2-out base hit from the Brewer pitcher. How big would that be right now?
It would be his first of the year.
That's what I meant by big, Rock.
Yeah, right.
First hit in the lead. How about it, Junior Guerra? Way outside. Guerra waits the 1-1. Big hack from Junior Guerra there, missing a ball and 2 strikes. Junior 0 for 19 this season with 7 strikeouts. Does have a couple of sacrifice bunts and still 0 for after that. So Newcomb 2 walks with 1 out, striking out the catcher and pitcher. So we head to the 3rd, still no score. begins Tuesday at noon Central on Fox, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Action winding down, and things are looking pretty good right now in the World Cup. Getting some primetime slots as well. Junior Guerra back out on the mound for Milwaukee to start the third. Ender Inciarte, top of the order. He walked his first time up and was retired on a double play. No score, Braves Brewers here in the third inning. Junior Guerra signed by the Atlanta Braves as a free agent to start his professional career here in the United States back in 2006. And of course, he had that roller coaster career after that. After he failed a drug test back in 2008, he was out of affiliated baseball from 2009 to 14. Pitched from Mexico to Europe, South America, independent leagues here, and finally was David Stern's first pluck-off free agency, and splashing onto the scene back in 2016. And he's looking to continue what has been a great rebound 2018 year compared to 2017. A guy that didn't even make the opening day roster here, but he's been a fixture the moment he has taken the hill here this season.
Wasn't even down off the roster for a week. And he came up and had an immediate impact, and he's got the velocity back that he had a couple of years ago, and that splitter, the change in the grip of that split-fingered fastball, and it was a good pitch for him last time out.
3-2 pitch, missing low and away. So Inciarte draws another walk here in this game.
Is he ever swinging anything out of the zone?
Boy, nope.
He's something else, this guy.
Think about it. You've got Inciarte with his on-base percentage drawing the walks, and then you've got Albies, Freeman, and Markakis, who are doing their job with the base hits. This is why this team is so lethal at the top of the order. There's Ozzie Albies. Fly ball right field. Kane in right center. Inciarte tagged. Here's the throw. Got him! Double play. A close play at second base, but what a throw from Lorenzo Kane, fresh off the DL.
Yeah, they're going to be taking a look at that one. It looked to me as though that, Inciarte might have gotten that foot in there. The swipe tag by Saladino, I think, maybe missed him initially. Good throw by Lorenzo. Now watch the tag by Saladino. Does he miss him here? He misses him, and then he gets him on the knee. Is the foot in there? Infielders are told don't reach for the base runner. Drop the glove right in front of the bag and let the guy slide right into the tag. Is there enough to overturn it? He misses him right there. He gets him there, but where is the front foot? Now if the laces get him, that's not a tag. If the laces touch him, that's not the glove and the ball.
Well, Brewer fans reacting to the replay on the scoreboard here.
Not sure if there's enough to overturn it. We'll see. We have been surprised on many occasions.
So the Braves challenge. Junior Guerra taking some extra pitches while he waits. Very close play out at second base.
It's got to be the glove. Can't be the laces that drag across the front leg. Nice.
And there you go. What a play from Lorenzo Kane.
Yeah, and now the Atlanta Braves have added challenges. We're here in the third inning. A risky challenge by Atlanta. Good throw by Kane. Not enough to overturn it. And they get the double play.
Junior Guerra tips his cap to Lorenzo Kane. He's got to love having him back out there in center field. So the call stands. 2 outs here in the third inning. This, folks, is what we're talking about when Lorenzo Cain can have an immediate impact. It can come in all varieties of ways, and today it comes from his arm in the outfield. This one sliced in the left center, a base hit. So Freeman reaches again.
Yeah, both times coming on pitches down. First one down and in. And this is a split-fingered fastball. Look at him reach for it. Yeah, nice short stroke. And punches one out there into center field. I mean, really trying to just shorten it up right there. Line drive just out of the reach of Saladino.
Here's Nick Markakis. Cain, by the way, that 8th outfield assist for him ties the most in the National League. You look at Cain's offensive numbers, 291, 8 home runs and 26 RBIs, and then you add in the fact that what a all-star caliber and gold glove caliber outfielder he is. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people think he'll be named to the all-star team tonight.
Oh, that's great, but I think that his biggest impact is just being in the lineup and the comfort level that the rest of the guys have in that lineup, knowing he's in the game.
Because he can do so much.
Because of what you were talking about. I mean, he's the leader of this ball club, and when your leader's on the DL, I mean, that's a big hole in your lineup.
Check of the runner, Freddie Freeman, over at first. Ball and a strike to Nick Markakis. He singled back in the first inning. So once again, the top portion of this Atlanta lineup putting pressure on Junior Guerra. And once again, the Brewers coming up with some big plays to try to erase some of those base runners. Double plays in the first, double play in the third as well. Here's the 2-1. High fly ball left field. And Yelich has it for the final out. Defense going to work thanks to Lorenzo Cain. He'll bat third when the Brewers come up in the third inning. To Miller Park to see some of the world's top soccer players this Wednesday as CF Pachuca takes on Club Leon in an international soccer match presented by Aurora Healthcare. Tickets start at just $15 at brewers.com/soccer. Getting comfortable over there?
Yeah, I've got my, what do they call it, a physio ball, the physical therapy round ball I sit on every now and again.
We've gotten pretty technical the last couple of games on me.
Trying to tighten up these abs a bit. After all, we are going to Florida.
How's that working out? Is it going good?
Yeah, breaking even.
Yeah. Means you're enjoying yourself. That's a good thing.
Yeah, especially after that off day. Yeah.
That's true. National TV, great job by the crew yesterday, but they did not see a Brewer win. We want to see a Brewer win at the end of this day.
Yeah.
Jonathan Villar, Brewer leadoff hitter today. Boy, he had a long, loud out in that first at bat back in the first inning. He took Inciarte all the way to the wall out there in right center. Inciarte tried to steal a base away from Lorenzo Cain. That didn't work out.
No. Yeah, Lorenzo, those 8 outfield assists. I mean, he's been very consistent in that. I mean, very accurate arm. He hits the cutoff man a lot. Does a lot of things right.
And Villar this time singles into left field.
Yeah, his success as a right-handed hitter, incredible this year. Much better from the right side than the left side of the plate. And we're going to change up that stayed down the middle of the plate up, and he's able to hit it hard into left. He's hitting about 300 as a right-handed batter. Pretty close.
Here's Christian Yelich. Big lead for Villar. Got to keep your eye on the left-handed pitcher and Sean Newcomb. Yelich 1 for 1. Single back in the first inning. He's now 4 for 6 in his career against Newcomb. Like those lefty versus lefty numbers to go in your favor.
Yeah.
Yelich punches it down the left field line and just foul.
Yeah, Villar, as we were talking about, hitting .319 after that base hit against left-handed pitching. The switch hitter doing much better as a right-handed hitter this year. Power from both sides.
Ball and a strike. Runner at first, nobody out. Outside 2-1. Nathan Eovaldi is having himself a game for Tampa Bay Rays. As you take a look at Christian Yelich's numbers I was talking about against Newcomb, he's got a perfect game going through 6 innings for the Rays against the Mets out in New York. Been a lot of those this season, Rock, that
near misses. Yeah,
near misses. No hitters, perfect games.
Speaking of good days, how about Mark Reynolds yesterday with the Nats?
Boy,
10 RBIs in one game.
He had 14 RBIs coming into that game.
Right.
Two and one, and again, Villar draws a throw. Villar 12 stolen bases on the season. Again, he draws a throw on a wild one. Freeman has to reach for that throw over the top of Villar. Villar's having a good series. That was his 4th hit in the series. 4 for 6 against the Braves. Good homestand too. 5 for 10.
Yeah, I think pitchers realize they need to hold runners on pretty well because Suzuki's had his issues throwing out runners. So keep him close, give him a chance. Only 1 out of 20 Suzuki has thrown out this year.
That doesn't register very well for his pitchers.
The pitchers have to help him out. Keep him close.
There goes Villar. Suzuki's throw is going to be late.
Pretty good throw that time, but a good jump by VR. 1 for 21 now is Suzuki.
13 stolen base for Jonathan VR. Nobody out, runner in scoring position. That's the good news.
Pretty good jump. Perfect throw, but too late.
That's yet left hand of VR on the base. Kind of came up shaking that left hand. And this one into right field, base hit. VR is being waved around, and he will score, and the Brewers have the lead first. Here this afternoon, it's 1-0 as Christian Yelich comes through with the RBI single.
Yeah, how about Christian now? 2 for 2 against a lefty. Yeah, but changeup. I mean, this is a guy that believes in changeups to left-handed batters. You don't see that very often. Lefty versus lefty. Gets a changeup, punches it into right, and because of the stolen base, Jonathan VR able to score easily from second. Brewers manufacturing a run.
Gotta like that. Base hit, stolen base, and another base hit, and that'll give you the lead here as Lorenzo Cain now comes up.
Brewers might, or I should say Yelich might try and steal here.
Yelich with 10 stolen bases coming into today. This is why it's nice to have Cain back in the lineup. Is we've seen a lot of Cain leading off and getting on base, and then Yelich and Aguilar and Shaw moving him around. Cain in that 3-hole here today for Craig Counsell. And into right field, base hit. Yelich had to hold as it went over the head of Albies. And 2 aboard here, still nobody out in the Brewer 3rd inning.
That jam shot, able to muscle it out in the short right field. Fastball eats him up inside, but Lorenzo able to fight it off. Yeah, good start to the 3rd inning for the Brewers. Second time through, it looks like the Brewers are, have a much better read on what Newcomb's doing.
Here's Jesus Aguilar. Boy, nobody out here in the 3rd, 2-1. Pressure on the pitcher, Newcomb. You got Aguilar coming up. Ideal situation right now for Milwaukee's offense. Brewers with the run in and looking for more here in the 3rd inning. Aguilar grounded out to 3rd base his first time up. High ball 1. Jesus Aguilar on Friday hit a mammoth home run. Check this one out. Home run number 20 on a Powerball home run count for Aguilar. They measured that at 433 feet. Take a look at the leaderboard. Travis Shaw next on that list with 15. Big swing on the changeup.
I think Jesus would afford himself pretty well in the home run hitting contest. What do you think?
I absolutely would agree. How about that smooth, silky swing he's got?
You watch him in BP, don't you?
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, he can hit him.
Well, that's what that home run Friday looked like, a BP home run. And this one gets away from Suzuki off his glove, and the runners will move up.
It'll probably be a wild pitch, but boy, that's one that Suzuki's got to be able to handle. It was up a little bit, but he's having a rough time of it. Second wild pitch. Right off the thumb of the glove. That one's got to be caught.
Pass ball.
I agree.
That one clanged off the side of his glove. Never hit the middle of the mitt. Brewers will take it. 2 runners in scoring position now for Aguilar. And he walks. So base is loaded. Nobody out. And a run already in for Travis Shaw.
Back-to-back starts for Newcomb, where he has had some control issues. 5 walks last time out. 3 already today in the 3rd inning.
That prompts a visit from pitching coach Chuck Hernandez. Travis Shaw waits to bat. Bases loaded, nobody out for him. Shaw just 1 hit in this series, would like to make it 2 here. In any form or fashion, try to keep the line moving, get some more runs home. Brewers with a big-time threat here in the 3rd inning. Brewers facing some good Atlanta pitching in this series. We've seen Max Fried, Mike Foltynewicz, today Sean Newcomb. Shaw looking for his first hit of the season with the bases loaded. 0 for 9 here at this at bat. Takes a swing at that first pitch and fouls it straight back. This is easily the Brewers' biggest threat in an inning in this series. With the bases loaded, nobody out. Shaw, fly ball left field. Yelich set to tag. Culberson. And here comes the throw home, way off the mark, all the way to the Brewer dugout. And Lorenzo Cain has to hold over there at 3rd base, not taking any chances, nobody out.
Yeah, see, that's just not a very good throw. I mean, that makes no sense. I mean, you airmail one like that. I mean, just bad baseball. You throw the ball to 3rd, you keep the double play alive, and now 2 men are in scoring position. There's just no excuse for a throw like this. The odds are going to score on that. Look at this throw. Airmails everybody, not even close. And the Brewers take advantage. Now a couple more men in scoring position.
You got Culberson, who's a super utility player for the Braves. He'll play either corner outfield and middle infield as well. There's Hernan Perez, speaking of super utility. He's out there in right field today.
See, what you try and do in a situation, bases loaded, nobody out. You know, Culberson throws it to 3rd. You have a run in. There is an out. So you try and end the inning with 1 swing of the bat.
Perez, center field deep. Inciarte watches it leave the ballpark. A 3-run home run for Hernan Perez. His 6th home run of the season. His 2nd in this series. And the Brewers blown it open here in the 3rd inning. 5-0.
Their 2nd big inning of the series. Had a bomb. Brewers had a 5-run 3rd inning on Friday. A 5-run 3rd inning here on Sunday. Right down the middle, out over the plate, and Perez does the rest.
Perez had a 2-run home run in the 8th inning on Friday to give the Brewers some big-time breathing room to win that game, and a 3-run home run here this afternoon to open things up. Still only 1 out here in the inning. Newcomb delivers the 2-1 to Saladino, missing down low. And here's our StatCast powered by AWS. Check out the exit velocity at over 104 miles an hour and the projected distance at 426 feet. It was a no-doubter for Hernan Perez.
Yeah, we talked about it when we came on the air today, how the Brewers have covered injuries. Ryan Braun goes on the DL. You throw Perez out there, and look what he's able to do today. This is a good team. I mean, they're deep.
Saladino pops one up on the right side. Freeman makes the play, so 2 down. Well, you don't want to put guys on the DL, but if you have to do it in this situation where you have the depth and the guys covering are also swinging a good bat like Perez is right now, you can't feel bad about that.
Yeah, they need playing time too. And you know, if you have an opportunity like Braun and Pena, put them on the disabled list. You have the benefit of the All-Star break coming up next week. That gives them just even more time to be strong for the second half. I mean, there's no reason not to do it, because you're getting production all around your roster.
And the Brewers had the benefit of getting Lorenzo Cain back today. With all the moves that they were forced to make, that clearly stands out, and his impact has already been felt today. From the outfield to getting a base hit here today and scoring a run. 5-0 Milwaukee, 2 down here in the 3rd inning for Kratz. And a nice play over there at third by Camargo. And the throw, a nice scoop at first by Freeman. And that will end the inning for Milwaukee, but 5 big runs for them. And Yelich gets things going with an RBI single. And then the sacrifice by Shaw, and then the big bomb by Hernan Perez. 5-0 as we head to the 4th.
Last night, former Brewer, now a National, Mark Reynolds became just the 15th player in baseball history to have at least 10 RBIs on the night, and what a day for him at the plate. He went 5 for 5, 2 home runs, again 10 RBIs for him in a wild 18-4 win against the Marlins. crazy. Mark Reynolds was a free agent, didn't even sign with the Nationals until April 12th, and he had 15 total RBIs going into last night. Ends up with 25 there. And the last player to do the 10 RBIs, another former Brewer, Scooter Gennett, his 4-homer game last year.
How about that? Yeah, remarkable numbers some of these guys are putting up. Earlier this week, Trey Turner, Reynolds' roommate with the Nationals, or teammate, I should say, with 8 RBIs. So they became the first teammates to record at least 8 RBIs in the same week.
No kidding. What did Rendon had? Rendon had 10. What, last year? Or was it the year before?
I think it was the year before. Yeah. But how about the Nats though? 18 runs yesterday, and then 14 on Thursday. As Suzuki is retired to start out the 4th with Junior Guerra on the hill.
Yeah, and they came from behind in a 9-0 deficit in one of them.
Yeah, that was on Thursday.
Yeah. Everybody waiting for Washington to get going.
Well, if they put up runs like that, they might be on their way.
Yeah, I mean, that's been their issue, scoring runs.
They're 5 games behind Philadelphia and Atlanta in that East as Camargo sends one into foul territory. Long run VR, and boy, he slides into that wall kind of hard. Ball foul into the stands. Now, Philadelphia and Atlanta tied in the East for the lead coming into today, and the Nationals 5 behind. So as much as they are struggling, 5 behind is nothing with a lot of season left.
Yeah.
Especially with as potent as they are.
Yeah, Brewers are playing in game number 90 today. It's hard to believe 90 games in the books already. Or I should say 89 in the books. A good split. Splitter hasn't been as good today as it was last time out.
One out here in the top of the 4th. Camargo down a ball and 2 strikes to Junior Guerra. And he strikes him out. So 2 down.
And maybe it's coming around a little bit. Split fingered fastball. He's changed the grip a little bit. He doesn't have the fingers split as wide as he had in the past, and feels like he has better command of it, able to put it, over the plate and still keep it down in the strike zone.
Here's Charlie Culberson with 2 down. Junior Guerra, pretty efficient day today. He's worked pretty well around a couple of walks and 4 base hits, as the Braves have been shut off the board, but they've had a runner in scoring position in 2 of the prior 3 innings and have had base runners and base hits in all 3 prior innings.
Always great to have a lead, especially on a day when Josh Hader's had 4 days off. Available today, that really shortens games up. If you don't have a lead on the Brewers, 6th or 7th, look out. It's kind of the way it's been this year.
Here's the 2-1 to Culberson. Chopper to third. Shaw. Nice quick clean inning for Junior Guerra's first 1-2-3 of the ball game. 5-0 Milwaukee.
5-0 lead as we head to the fourth, and Junior Guerra has made adjustments on the mound. He told me that in his last start against the Twins, 5 shutout innings for him in that effort, gave up just 2 hits and 8 strikeouts. He said what was most notable, not just the results, but the change that he made in the grip to his split finger. That last start was the first time that he used it. This is a change that both he and pitching coach Derek Johnson, he said, has asked him to do going back to 2016. So on his previous grip, his fingers were a lot wider, so he's brought them in closer to where they're right on the seams, and he feels that by making that adjustment, he has more control over the pitch. He's able to throw it more for strikes. And how effective was that change? He said of his 8 strikeouts in the last start against the Twins, 7 of them came on that split finger. So it's been a good adjustment for him, something that he's continued to work on in his bullpens this week.
You know, that's what guys do. I mean, throughout the course of the season, you see it with hitters, you see it with fielders. Pitchers are going to make adjustments, not just adjustments, you know, with their pitching delivery, but their grips. What feels good today might not feel good tomorrow, and that's kind of the way baseball is. You have to be constantly making adjustments to be effective. And he has done that, and good for him. I mean, that split finger fastball last couple of outings has been better. He really found it last inning. Before that, earlier in the game, he just couldn't find the final location with it. An effective splitter is going to be over the plate, but down around the shoot tops. If you have it inside, if you have it too far away, guys aren't going to swing at it. The only way you get swings is when it's over the plate.
How difficult is that, Rock, to commit to make changes like that and then to feel comfortable about it?
And you're not going to do it if everything's going well.
Right.
I mean, he just didn't have a very good splitter there for a while, and he figured, you know, I better make an adjustment. I'm going to try. He worked it out in the bullpen a little bit. Felt comfortable enough in it to use it in a game his last time out against Minnesota, because you remember, you know, Junior for many starts that really wasn't using the splitter a whole lot. He was more, you know, the fastball pitcher. He was throwing a lot of fastballs, 2-seamers, cutters, those types of things. But now it seems as though he's got a comfort level with that new grip.
Well, he's got 4 strikeouts in this game. He's shut down Braves hitters so far as the Brewers have a 5-0 lead. 1 out here in Milwaukee's half of inning number 4. Top of the order now for Jonathan Villar. Brewers plated 5 runs in the 3rd inning, and it was Villar who got things going with a base hit. Base hit, a stolen base, and then Yelich brought him home, and then after that it was the sacrifice fly and then the 3-run home run by Perez. So Villar doing his job, igniting that inning, and draws a walk here with 1 out.
And 4 walks now. Hey, be the first to know all the latest Brewers news with MLB At Bat, the official app of the Brewers. With At Bat, you get breaking news, live radio broadcasts, and lineup updates sent right to your fingertips. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
Sean Newcomb has struggled with his command, not only here today but in his last start. Rock's talked about it a couple of times with the 5 walks, now 4 here in this game as he faces Christian Yelich. It's a big guy, 6'5", 255. He actually considered college football before he went into baseball. He was a tight end and a defensive end in high school. Pretty good size to work with. It was a number 1 pick, a 15th pick in that first round by the Angels back in 2014. It's a 3rd pitcher in this series the Brewers have faced that the Braves have acquired their starting pitcher through a trade, and it was the other team's top pick.
Yep, unloading a lot of you know, high-priced talent over the last few years, picking up some good pitching.
1 hopper nicely played by Albies over to short, and the relay not in time as Yelich too quick beats it out. And VR retired though, so Yelich safe at first with 2 down.
Well, Yelich gets down that line really fast. I mean, that looked like a sure double play. Line drive, 1 hopper. Good play by Albies to pick it. But not quick enough to turn the double play. It took Albies a little bit while to get rid of it. Had to set himself, got rid of it, and Christian Yelich gets down that line, gives Kane a chance.
And a pitching change being made by the Braves here. So Newcomb is out. We'll set the new pitcher when we come back here in the fourth. In relief of Sean Newcomb, he'll face Lorenzo Cain with 2 down and a runner at first here in the Brewer 4th inning. So Brian Snitker pulls the plug on Newcomb. Yelich goes on the first pitch. Throw down's going to be late. And another stolen base for Milwaukee against Suzuki here today.
Yeah, much easier to run on right-handed pitchers than left. Yeah, good jump. Yelich picks up a base, and now Cain has a chance to drive in a run.
Number 11 for Christian Yelich. Couple of stolen bases against Suzuki today. He's had a long day back there already with the 2 base stealers. He's had a passed ball, advancing runners, wild pitch advancing runners.
And the Brewers have been able to take advantage of it. All the mistakes it seems like the Braves have made, they've jumped on.
So Cain with the 1-1 count. Big hack there, 1-2.
Yeah, Jackson, a long reliever for this Atlanta Braves ball club. He's been up and down between, the minor leagues and with the Atlanta Braves 4 different times now. Through 2 innings his last time out against the Yankees.
Outside 2-2 to Cain. Again, 2 down here in the 4th inning.
Actually, it was 3 innings against the Yankees back on July 3rd. That pitched well, 4 hits, 1 run, struck out 5.
Low and away, 3-2 now with 2 down to Lorenzo Cain. Got Yelich out there at second base. Inside, draws a walk. So Luke Jackson comes in, walks his first batter. Is that what Brian Snitker was hoping for?
Hey, you can't come into a game and start walking guys. That's what gets you in big trouble. Brewers have drawn 5 walks. They've been pretty disciplined at the plate so far today.
There's Jesus Aguilar. He walked and scored a run back in the 3rd inning. He scored on Hernan Perez's home run. And quickly, Jackson ahead, 2 strikes on the Brewers' big first baseman. The numbers for this year and last year, all of last season for Jesus, either surpassing or almost matching some of those big totals. And this time he grounds out to end the inning. So Jackson does his job. The Brewers come up empty here in the 4th, but lead it 5-0.
Mark Reynolds' 10 RBI game. Well, what about the Arizona Diamondbacks? As a team, a new franchise record, 20 runs scored in their 20-5 win last night. Their previous franchise record was 18 against the Dodgers, so they had 5 home runs from 5 different players, totaled 18 hits on the night as well, and they did it in the first 4 innings. They had a 5-run first, 3 runs in the second, added on another 3 runs in the 3rd inning, capped that off with another 4 runs in the 4th. That is some kind of production for the Diamondbacks.
Sure is, Sophia. There was a lot of offense in last night's game. Saturday, 4 teams had 12 runs or more. And they, if you include the Nationals, who we talked about, they're above 500, 5 games out. All 4 of those teams either strong playoff caliber teams or contending.
Yeah, rough day for the Padres yesterday, huh?
Yeah. Here's Dansby Swanson to face Junior Guerra. Guerra got himself into a nice rhythm in that 4th inning, his first 1-2-3 inning. Brewers staked him to a 5-0 lead after 3, and he did his job on the mound, making sure Atlanta going nowhere. This one hammered center field. Kane on the run, looks up, and it's off the bottom of the wall. And Dansby Swanson will hold at second base with his club down 5-0 in scoring position already. Nobody out here in the 5th.
Man, did a nice job pulling the hands in on that pitch. See that 2-seam fastball? Laid down and through. That's a pretty good looking swing right there for Swanson. Able to hammer that one off the center field fence. Lorenzo not able to get there. He stays at second, as you mentioned. Don't be making outs on the bases or even taking any chances down by 5.
That brings up Ryan Flaherty, the pinch hitter, in the pitcher spot, number 9 in the order. Season numbers for Flaherty, 1 for 2 in this series. We saw him pinch hit the other night.
Yeah, Corey Knebel struck him out to end the game a couple of nights ago.
One on the way, fouled away, 1-2. This will be a big out for Guerra to get here with the top of the order coming up. They've been very active against the Brewer starter here today. It's a little more difficult when you're facing some good hitters with runners on base.
And that's why you have to really do the best you can to keep the bottom of the order off the bases. You know, 6 through 9. Can't let those guys do any damage. Got a couple of hits today. Culberson, number 7 hitter with a double. Now Swanson, the 8 hitter.
Here's the 1-2 to Flaherty. Down the third base line, Shaw giving chase, runs out of room. After today, the Brewers head to Miami and then Pittsburgh. They're going to need a starter on Thursday, and there's a good chance that the left-hander Wade Miley will come off the disabled list. He's worked his way through his minor league rehab starts very nicely, and the Brewers are going to need a 5th starter by then, and he will join the team on the trip in Miami tomorrow. We're expecting some big things out of Wade Miley from spring training. Had a good spring training and then injured right towards the end there, Ron.
Yeah, he just can't stay on the field. I mean, one thing after another from Miley. They'll put him into Brent Suter's spot in the rotation.
Aaron Wilkerson pitched for Suter yesterday. Actually pitched pretty well after a rough first inning. Only gave up a couple of runs in that first inning. It was a long one for him, but rebounded nicely to give the Brewers 5 innings. This one on the right side, VR. Nice stab, waits for Aguilar to get set for
Nice
the out.
play right there. A lot tougher than a look, that play.
Let's check in with Sophia Minter.
Well, you guys were just talking about Wade Miley. He made his 4th rehab start on Saturday, and he struck out 4 in 4 perfect innings. He's made 4 appearances overall with Biloxi. He's 0-1, has a .395 earned run average, given up just 6 earned runs, and has 14 strikeouts there. So he's done well coming back from that oblique strain. And Craig and Rock, as you were just saying, he will meet the team in Miami, and it's possible that he could be activated Thursday when they need a starter there.
Well, the good news is, Sophia, that he has not allowed a run in the last 2 outings of those rehab starts. So real plus signs right there for Wade Miley.
Yeah, as long as he's feeling good and healthy, I think he's going to be effective. Yeah, the Brewers would like to have. I've been wanting to have him in the starting rotation, you know, since the end of spring training. It just hasn't been able to work out.
Ender Inciarte, the batter now, and he quickly is down 2 strikes to Junior Guerra. Swanson moved up to 3rd with that infield out. 1 down to the Braves here in the 5th inning.
I tell you, watching Inciarte in this series, I mean, he has done nothing but draw walks. I mean, he's drawn a ton of walks. He's had back-to-back or 2 games in this series with 2 walks. His on-base percentage only .319. That's surprising.
Well, when you see him in this series, I think it's more like 400.
Right.
1-2 on the way. Fouls it straight back. He leads the league with 23 stolen bases, and that's a new career high for him in a season, and we're in early July. Plays a very good center field, by the way, too. The 2-2 now from Guerra. Popped him up. Shallow left. Saladino going out and drops the ball. Or maybe he didn't have it. It's going to be a fair ball, and now the runner from third scores in Dansby Swanson, so the Braves are on.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Inciarte was doing. I mean, he needs to be at second base. I mean, the Braves are kind of surprising. They made a mistake out there. Culberson airmailing everybody at home plate, and there's no excuse for Inciarte not to be at second. And what that does, it keeps the double play alive. It's going to be an error on Saladino. He went a long way for this baseball. He was calling it. He was there, but just flat missed it. And Swanson able to score. Looks like it was right off the end of the glove.
And Albies on the first pitch into right field, a base hit. And that allows Inciarte to go to third. So first and third, still one down.
Yeah, with the big boys coming up, Freeman, Markakis. Still no activity in the Brewers bullpen.
Well, the Brewers defense has helped Guerra so far today with 2 double plays.
And the fact that Inciarte was not at second base in that pop-up for the time being cost the Braves a run.
So the error on Saladino, no RBI for Inciarte. 5-1 game right now, 1 down here in the 5th inning. Here's Freddie Freeman. Some big tests here in this inning for Junior Guerra. Good Braves hitters. Here's Freeman. Nice pitch from Junior Guerra.
You see, that's been an effective spot against Freeman up in the zone with the fastball. Yeah, the 2 hits that he's had today have both been down. That one up, he swings through it. See if they go back up there.
Guerra had 2 strikes. Right down the middle. Aguilar, nice play. The relay is in time. Aguilar to Saladino, back to Aguilar. And the double play works for the 3rd time in 5 innings to help Junior Guerra out and erase some very good hitters for the Atlanta Braves. They get one, but Milwaukee a 5-1 lead.
will donate $1 to support veterans.
And back here at Miller Park, bottom of the 5th we go. The Brewers have 5-1 lead. And the Braves continue to make some changes. Second man out of the bullpen, Luis Guerra. He'll be on the mound for appearance number 9 on the season. And Danny Santana now goes out to center field. So Inciarte out.
I'm not sure if that's the reason, but if it is, good for him. Good for the manager. If you're too tired to run, go ahead, take a shower. Cost his team a run. I mean, Atlanta Braves in first place. I mean, they have a lot to play for, and they got to hustle. That's the least you could expect out of your team.
So Travis Shaw, the batter. There's Brian Snitker.
Talking to the trainer, maybe it's an issue for Inciarte. Who knows?
And Shaw, nice play by Freeman at first. Takes it himself. Boy, he had to range a long way to get to the line on that ball.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, all the way around. Freddie Freeman playing off the line a little bit, dives and able to take it himself. Beats Shaw to first base. That's a Gold Glove play right there.
There's Jordan Perez batting for the first time since belting a 3-run home run back in the 3rd inning. Boy, he is in a groove over the last couple of weeks, isn't he?
Yeah, yes, he is.
There was a pretty good stretch of time where he just was not getting a lot of reps. And when you don't get a lot of reps with the bat, it's tough to produce. And then it started clicking for Perez, and then the Brewers started making some changes around the infield and covering for injured outfielders. And the bat plays, but he's so versatile, and when he can swing like he is and has been in this series, he's got 2 home runs in this series alone.
Yeah, you got to figure out a way to be able to stay sharp and be productive when you're not getting a lot of playing time. And that is a very difficult thing to do, and a difficult thing to learn how to do. Yeah, but he's able to do it. Aguilar, when he wasn't playing all the time last year as a pinch hitter.
Fly ball straight away center field. Santana, who just came in the game, makes the catch. So 2 down.
Hey, Goodwill is once again offering half-price tickets in section 238 of the left field Lowe's bleachers for most Brewers home games this season. To secure your Club Goodwill tickets, visit left field ticket window number 40 as soon as the ballpark gates open. Learn more at brewers.com. Club Goodwill. That's a good deal. 238.
Always a good deal to get to the ballpark, and tickets are going to be in demand here the rest of the way. The Brewers have drawn some nice crowds. They're well over 100,000 ahead of last year alone, and on a daily basis about 5,000 or 6,000 ahead of last year's pace. Getting about 32,000 a game or plus.
Nice crowd today. Yep. I mean, they're crowded up there in the upper deck, and even in the corners. That's when you know you have a nice crowd. Near a sellout, looks like. Not quite.
Yesterday they had more than 38,000 here. Those are the seats that are about the furthest away up there on the terrace level. Not too many empty seats today.
Good day for a ball game. Last day of Summerfest, so take in the game, head down to the lakefront.
There you go.
Check out the fireworks. They have fireworks tonight.
I have no idea.
No.
I know they had them July 3rd. That's all I know about the firework action, Rock. Now, if they had them tonight and you knew that, would you be going down?
I think I'd watch them from a distant vantage point.
Not a big crowd guy.
That's the traffic. I did not make Summerfest this year.
Nor did I. Saladino to third. And the Brewers are done here in the 5th. We're boring guys who just hang out at the ballpark.
Next year.
There you go.
I'll go.
Please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Eric Thames applauding his teammates in this series. Brewers trying to make it 3 out of 4 against the Braves. So far so good in this game, a 5-1 lead as this one heads to the top of the 6th inning. And Nick Markakis will lead off for Atlanta. Junior Guerra's looked very good on the mound for Milwaukee. Only one 1-2-3 inning, one clean inning. That was the 4th, but he's worked in and out of trouble. 3 double plays have certainly helped him, including one to end the 5th inning. That's what it's all about, though. You can't be perfect out there, but your defense can certainly do the job. And they overcame an error in that last inning.
Yeah, Brewers committed an error. It was a tough error. That was a tough play for Saladin, who had a long way to go. Right off the end of the glove, but 2 different 3-6-3 double plays. Those aren't easy to turn.
Tell you what, Jesus Aguilar really does a nice job on the field. That's something you got to watch his game. I mean, I think across Major League Baseball, if a lot of fans and maybe some other players don't know him as well, they'll look at those offensive numbers. But to watch a ball game like today, he does a very nice job over there.
He's just not a home run hitter. He does so much more for you.
One hopper to shorts and 1 down. Our future is here. Now it's time to own it. The new home of the Milwaukee Bucks opens next season, but now is the time to lock in your seats. Season ticket packages for the 2018-19 season on sale now, so purchase yours today at foxsportswisconsin.com/events. And the Bucks reportedly added Brooke Lopez as a free agent center to the mix today. Time to wheel and deal a little bit through free agency.
Yeah, you know a little bit about the Milwaukee Bucks. Down at every home game, right?
Yeah. We cover them on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Kurt Suzuki straightaway center. And quickly 2 down for Junior Guerra. Yeah, they're hoping for some good things. Obviously, they have the new arena coming into play, and Rock Giannis is a superstar that continues to get better each year. Sometimes superstars reach their potential early, but this guy keeps getting better, and the numbers show it.
Yeah, he's something.
Yep. Centerpiece to the new arena and the future of the team, obviously. They want to quit talking about the future, though, and start winning now.
Yeah. The future's now, right?
Yep. Here's Camargo with 2 down.
We interviewed the first-round draft choice. What do they call him? The Big Ragu?
The Big Ragu. Yeah, he was up here having a good time with you guys for sure. He'll be a good fit to Milwaukee.
Probably be the last inning for Junior. Boy, Craig Counsell would love to be able to get him through this inning and then call on Josh Hader for a couple.
Two down for Junior Guerra and Camargo the batter. There's Corbin Burns on your left as you look at the relief corps out there. Williams and Hader. Waiting for his big league debut. The Brewers' #2 prospect overall, but their top pitching prospect. And he has been moved from a starter to a reliever over the course of the last few weeks in the minor leagues for Milwaukee. Big time prospect right there. And the Brewers made that move with the intention at some point of having him help the big league club, and here he is today.
Yeah, we've seen some really good outings by Adrian Hauser. He's been put in that role, and some guys come up, starters, they put him in that role to eat up some innings late in games where the Brewers are up by a number of runs or down, and some guys just can't figure it out. Adrian Hauser certainly was able to figure it out, and they're hoping that Corbin Burns can do the same. That transition, being a starter to very quickly working out of the bullpen, is not as easy as it seems.
3-2 on the way, and Camargo draws a walk. A 2-out walk, 2-out base runner now for the Braves.
It's that split-fingered fastball, just couldn't put him away. And you can see the reaction of Craig Counsell. He would love to see Junior finish this inning. You got to head quickly, and just not able to get that splitter close enough to get a swing. He started Camargo out. He was 0-2. Couldn't finish him off.
Here's Charlie Culberson, who had a double against Guerra back in the 2nd inning. Grounded out in the 4th, so he's 1 for 2. Third walk, by the way, given up by Guerra. The other 2 were against Inciarte. Here's the 1-1. Little chopper fair ball. Shaw, long throw, and it's over the head of Aguilar. Runners are going to advance. Here comes a runner being waved home. Aguilar's throw is going to be at the plate, and they'll hold.
Oh man,
the runner over at third. Boy, Camargo.
Wow, all of a sudden now 2 outs, nobody on, 0-2 on Camargo, and now all of a sudden a walk and a throwing error, and the Brewers are in trouble. That's how quickly you can turn around. This game's something else. Just when you figure, you got a pretty easy inning ahead of you here. Shaw gets rid of it, just airmails it over everything, and had Aguilar not tracked that one down as quickly as he did, Camargo would have been able to score. And now Craig is forced to get Josh Hader up very quickly. He was thinking about scoring.
There's Craig Counsell's reaction on that one.
2 errors on the game for the Brewers, very unusual for them.
And they've come in each of the last 2 innings. There's Josh Hader. He starts to throw in that bullpen. So long visit out there with Eric Kratz and Tyler Saladino with Junior Guerra. Home plate umpire Quinn Wolcott gets them as Hader continues to throw. So the number 8 hitter Dansby Swanson, who doubled and scored a run last inning, is now the batter. 5-1 game. Brewers out in front. 3 errors in this game for Milwaukee. First pitch, right field. Perez on the warning track. And Junior Guerra survives the inning and survives the errors. And the Brewers still up top, 5-1.
Players and coaches invited their families to come spend time with them on the field. Prior to the game, it was a variety of different games and activities, snap some family photos, take in some of the Brewers in-park experiences. Of course, you have to go down Bernie Slide, run the bases, do some outfield work maybe, the Sealy experience, and a lot more. It's always one of the best days of the summer when the Brewers players and coaches bring their families out, and Christopher Perez, well, basically every day is a big league day for him.
Oh, you're not kidding. He's fun to watch down there. And they had the sausage race. Is Eric Kratz, bats. And on Sundays, of course, they have the little sausages. And I'm guessing there were maybe 5 young kids in there that were members of the players' family.
Yeah.
Making that relay.
It's a big deal for them. Down on the field, they went down Bernie's Slide. I had my granddaughters with me today. They had a blast.
Kratz to shorts, 1 down.
Brewers give him jerseys and let him go out on the field, give him gifts. Little wiffle ball and bat. And a good job by Junior Guerra once again here today. Boy, he has been something this year. What a year he's had. 6
strong innings for Junior Guerra. 7 hits, just 1 run allowed. And 3 walks and 4 strikeouts for Junior Guerra. And here's Nate Orff, who will bat for him here in the 6th inning. Orff was sent down yesterday to AAA to make room for Aaron Wilkerson so he could be activated on the roster and start. And then with the slew of transactions made today, he was right back up.
Yep, 2 guys on the DL, which means you can come right back up. You don't have to be down for 10 days.
Pena and Braun were placed on the disabled list, so Orff got recalled, and then Jacob Nottingham as well for catcher backup relief here this week. 8 moves made today. Kane reinstated. Wilkerson was optioned back after a start yesterday. Zagurski DFA'd, and Corbin Burns was selected. We just showed you him. And Braun goes to the DL. Orf recalled. Pena to the DL, and Nottingham recalled.
They just had a shot at Jacob Nottingham. 8 transactions today, 2 yesterday. So David Stearns has been a busy man.
David Stearns today looked a tad tired. Long night yesterday, and this morning even more moves.
Well, the nights aren't going to get any shorter for him either, because the trading deadline's coming up. End of July, and I would imagine that they are talking to just about everybody that they can to try and help this ball club get over the hump, get into the postseason, win the division, I think, most importantly. And there's never any downtime for the general manager.
Nate Orf called out on strikes. 2 down here in the 6th. Well, one guy's name who keeps popping up over the last couple of days, of course, has been Manny Machado, and the Brewers now have been linked to many other teams, 6 other teams who could be in the race for Manny Machado. Of course, the Brewers can't comment on anything like that, but the Baltimore Sun today said 7 teams have made offers on Machado, and the Brewers among those who have already made an offer. So that's one report out of Baltimore, of course, where the Orioles are based.
Any team that is even close to being in position to make the postseason, who wouldn't want that guy?
That's right.
Of course the Brewers are interested.
Just turned 26 years old, 21 home runs, 300 hitter.
It's just a matter of at what price do you get Manny Machado? Do you mortgage your farm system? You give up some of your best prospects like Keston Hiura? Do you do that to get a guy for a couple of months?
That's right, because he'll be a free agent, an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. Brewers did it with CC Sabathia back in 2008. Craig Counsell was talking about that the other day because he was a member of the Brewers team then, and the impact and the rumble through the clubhouse that day when it was announced that CC was coming to Milwaukee. Doug Melvin got him to make, I believe, at least 2, maybe 3 starts before the All-Star game. So that was a big coup for Doug. That was a key for him if he was going to go out and get him to make some starts before the All-Star break, and he did. VR goes down on strikes. We are through 6. It's 5-1 Milwaukee. Badger Mutual Insurance plays of the game. It's that defense behind Junior Guerra today. Jesus Aguilar, a couple of 3-6-3s. And Lorenzo Cain out in center field as well. Defense with 3 double plays.
Yeah, defense has been very good, although the defense has been a little shoddy at times today. 3 errors, but 3 double plays. I guess that neutralizes everything. A Badger Mutual Insurance plays of the game. A couple of 3-6-3s, and the Brewers have a 4-run lead. And it's not Josh Hader. Dan Jennings comes on here in the 7th.
Brewers with a 5-1 advantage, and Jennings his 42nd appearance for Milwaukee.
Yeah, Jennings got that slider working pretty nicely as of late. I mean, a nice turnaround for him. There was a stretch where he was giving up some runs, but last time out for Jennings against the Braves on Friday, he retired all 3 batters that he faced. Stranded 3 inherited runners.
He faces Danny Santana, who bats for the first time today. Came in that double switch, took Inciarte's spot out there in center field. Yeah, Jennings, that outing the other night, spectacular. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and he stranded both runners.
Yeah, with a 1-run lead. Looked like the Braves are going to tie it or even go ahead. Didn't happen. All 3 outs for Jennings in that inning came on the slider.
He's got himself in a groove now, doesn't he?
Yes.
He pitched at a pretty high level when the Brewers first acquired him right before opening day and helped the club out. And like anybody else, you can't stay on that elite level all season long. Leveled out a little bit, and now he's climbing right back up there. Finding somebody in this, if you want to call it the 7th inning role, protect the lead, even come in a 1-run game like he did the other day. When a guy like Josh Hader not available is huge.
Yeah.
Jennings has been there before.
Well, you can't have the bullpen numbers that they have had this year with just 1 or 2 guys throwing well. Everybody's got to be contributing. There's another slider for an out. There's a stretch where he was hanging that pitch. This is Friday, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Brewers with a 1-run lead, and all 3 outs coming on the slider. A strikeout, a comebacker, and able to get out of the inning on this play right here. A grounded to 3rd, and the Brewers would go on to win the game by 1. Check him out. Is he fired up? Well, he's been a nice pickup for Milwaukee.
That deserved the fired up leave the mound motion right there by Jennings. That was a heat of the moment pitching performance from Dan Jennings. There's Ron Acuna Jr. He bats for the pitcher and lines one into right field, a base hit. So 1 out base runner.
Fastball that time out away from him, and it was supposed to be away, but it ended up middle in. Rips it into right. Braves have actually out hit the Brewers 8-5.
So Ozzie Albies swings at strike 2. 1 down here in the 7th inning for Atlanta. Base runner over at first. Brewers won the first 2 games Thursday and Friday, and the Braves coming back winning 5-1 yesterday, and Milwaukee up by that score right now. Two first-place teams in the National League. A long weekend series here in Milwaukee, and the Brewers trying to cap off this homestand in style with a victory.
Yep,
and then only 1 loss.
Head out for a week, and then the All-Star break. Miami for 3, Pittsburgh for 5. Doubleheader on Saturday.
Buckle up on the pierogies.
You're gonna need them.
And Elby's able to check his swing. A traditional doubleheader on Saturday, correct? There's no day-night doubleheader.
Yeah, that's right.
Push that 2 games through, especially playing 5 in one city. Don't see that too often anymore.
Yeah, and the first one's a day game, which is good. There you see it. 4 games, 4 days off for the All-Star break. Dodgers and Nationals come in. And then the Brewers head out to the West Coast.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Elby's. Right back to Jennings, knocks it down, and takes the sure out over at first. If he fields that cleanly, he might have a shot to start a double play.
Albies runs pretty well. Knock it down, make sure a 1. You got a 4-run lead. Don't make matters worse by trying to make something out of nothing. Has a good pitch. Ate him up inside. Albies an easy out at first.
More importantly, 2 down for Freddie Freeman. Freeman with 6 hits in this series against Brewer pitching. Third in the league in total bases, 6th in batting average, 4th in hits, 3rd in on base percentage. This guy's a tough out. Had a single, double, and triple in yesterday's game. Last time up, though, grounded into one of those 3-6-3 double plays, one of the 2 turned by the Brewers in this one. Braves are ending a 10-game road trip, by the way. Brewers want to send them home with a 5-5 record. Jennings misses 2-1.
Slider a good pitch to lefties, but again, Freddie Freeman, very good low ball hitter. Got to make sure it's down and away. Don't leave it down the middle of the plate. Fastballs up have been effective against Freeman.
Now behind 3-1 here with 2 down. These are ideal situations for the left-handed pitcher facing Freeman here with Markakis next. Jeremy Jeffress starting to get loose in that Brewer bullpen. He wants to end the inning right here with Freddie Freeman, though. And he loses it. Now 2 aboard with 2 down.
Craig Counsell electing to go with Jennings as opposed to Hader with the 4-run lead. Got Jeremy Jeffress getting loose in the Brewers pen out there in left center.
A 5-1 ball game. Here's Nick Markakis. Markakis with a hit his first time up. He's 1 for 3 today. He has 2,165 career hits, but not an all-star appearance. I think that'll end this year. He was at the top of the list in votes for outfielders going into the final fan vote.
All of his numbers terrific offensively.
.158 other players have collected at least 2,100 hits in their career, and all but one has made at least one all-star team. Juan Pierre was the only one who didn't. And Nick Markakis wants to add his name to the 159 portion of that list. Good player, tough out, been around a long time, 34 years old.
Dan Jennings one batter away from putting the tying run to the plate. That's why you have Jeremy Jeffress getting loose in the pen. Should it get that far, got to believe Jennings is going to be out, Jeffress in.
Count even, a ball and a strike. Again, 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Jennings getting set on the mound. Fouled one back, so now a strike away here, 1-2.
Good job throwing him inside, keeping it on the inside corner, maybe a little bit off the inside corner. Someone to leave one of those sliders up. Markakis is very good at taking the ball to the opposite field.
Here's the 1-2. Again, Markakis stays alive.
That's where you want to put it, down and away like that. Good pitch. It's been all fastballs so far to Markakis. Hasn't thrown a slider.
Again, another 1-2, and he strikes him out. Markakis goes down swinging, and Jennings avoids some trouble here in the 7th inning. And our 7th inning stretch now. Time for God Bless America, and Bob Kowalski is set to sing it away.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. There's Clark Vogt, who threw out the first pitch today, the son of Stephen Vogt, and a big hug for Dad. Boy, what a great scene that is. Family day here. 2 huge smiles out of the Vogt family. And we move to the bottom half of inning number 6. Sam Freeman on the hill for the Braves, and he faces Christian Yelich to lead things off.
Yeah, Freeman, you see that big earned run average. Freeman was a Brewer for a short period of time a few years ago. 43rd appearance for the Braves, a .475 earned run average. He's always had a good arm. Throwing strikes has been a problem from time to time for him. Yeah, the kids, they love it. I mean, yeah, to the kids, they're not stars, they're dad. That's what kind of keeps guys grounded when they come home, good or bad, at the office. They walk through that door and kids don't care.
I guarantee you, every dad thinks their kid's a star. It's, you know, especially at that age, they can't wait to see him. And you go away on trips and they're not around, and you've been through it. We all have. You can see the growth of kids within a week or 10 days. Trust me.
And when you're an athlete and you walk through that door and your kids are excited to see you, forget all about what happened before you walk through that door. It's all about the kids, all about family, and that's what keeps these guys on a even keel as best as they can.
Two and two now to Christian Yelich. And this guy's been on base in some form or fashion all 3 trips, couple of hits, reached on a fielder's choice, has a stolen base, scored a run. Got a good sense of that 1-2 punch with Yelich and Kane again, with Kane returning today on the DL, missing 12 games. The good news through all of that, though, you brought it up first, Rock, about the fact they won 8 of those 12 games.
Yeah, covering injuries extremely well, the depth of the organization, and that was a big topic of conversation in spring training. David Stern's very happy with that, and it's come to fruition. That's kind of the way it's been. You guys coming up, getting the job done.
And Yelich goes down swinging. Here on Family Day, let's listen to Katie Smith in the national anthem. Great job, and I mentioned Family Day. She's the wife of Matt Smith, who helps out and does a tremendous job with the clubhouse and the travel with the team, along with Dan LeRae, and such a great job by everybody. Tony Migliacci, it could go on and on, but great job. Not an easy task singing the national anthem.
She's got a terrific voice. Heard her before, and quite the talent. So is Matt too. These guys work hard. Guys behind the scenes.
Lorenzo Cain bats with 1 down. Takes a lot to make it all work, and they're prepping for another big road trip and then the All-Star break. The All-Star break's another challenge when you're on the road and you hit that Sunday. Some are coming home and some are going out on their own, right?
Yeah, about half and half.
To short. Cain retired on a nice play.
And the Brewers are hoping to have to send, 3 or 4 guys to Washington, D.C. right after Sunday's game for the All-Star game.
That'd be good. Good trip from Pittsburgh for, well, several guys you're hoping. 3, 4 maybe. Yep. This could be one of them. Jesus Aguilar.
It should be one of them. I mean, look, the numbers that he's put up, I mean, as good as any guy in the big leagues these days, at least in the National League. And he gave the rest of the field about a 2.5-week head start. Didn't play much early.
Yep, since April 19th, ranks among the National League leaders, first in RBIs and slugging, and tied for second with home runs. I mean, he just keeps on keeping on, this guy.
OPS at 968. Incredible.
And Aguilar's had quite a journey from the American League, Cleveland Indians side, being designated. The Brewers picking him up. A lot of trips to AAA and back with the Cleveland organization, but got to the Brewers last year, won a job in spring training to basically come off the bench, and was a tremendous pinch hitter and sub at first base for Eric Thames, and then took over first midway through April. This one nearly hits Aguilar. Have all these good things to say. Wouldn't want him to get hit.
Don't drill him. Aguilar with 59 RBIs in 78 games coming in. Just missed the arm as it went by.
So ball and 2 strikes, 2 down here in the 7th inning. Brewers hoping to get at least 4 into the All-Star game, and you'd think they should, having the best record in the National League and have had it for much of this season. Aguilar to right, and gone! A line drive home run for Jesus Aguilar, his 21st of the season. Right on cue with all the All-Star talk. A 6-1 lead now for Milwaukee. It can happen just that fast with Jesus Aguilar.
Just an incredible second half, and another 2-strike home run. He's got 11 of those.
He goes through the gauntlet, and then they stop at Woody's camera. How good a time is that team having?
Woody has the best job. He gets to get that up close and personal. Of course, Sophia's right down there too. She gets to see it all.
I think some of those nods have to be towards Sophia. She has a great relationship with those guys, does a wonderful job in all of our interviews, as you see the National League leaders in home runs.
And the first 2 guys will get voted in. They got voted in. Aguilar, he's got to get to the game. There's no way he cannot be put on that All-Star team.
There's Shaw with a 2-out base hit. Well, if you think about all the guys that you know, we're talking about with Aguilar and how easy this swing is for him, and like you said, Rock, with 2 down.
2 down, 2 strikes. He's got 11 home runs with 2 strikes. Look at that, the way he lets that ball travel. I think that was a changeup actually that he hit out of the ballpark. Line drive bullet. Got out of here in a flash.
You know, there haven't been a lot of those type of home runs, those line drive bullets like that from Aguilar. Usually they're pretty mammoth shots, like the one we saw Friday night. But the swing is just so easy, and taking the ball wherever it's pitched, it's time to right.
Yeah, my line about Aguilar to everybody who asks, he's a good hitter with big power. He's not just a home run hitter.
Right.
He's a very good hitter, period.
Well said, because it's true.
It is true, yeah. I mean, because you look at Aguilar, you're thinking, okay, this guy's going to hit some home runs, but you know he's going to strike out a lot. He'll run into a number of home runs. Probably not a very good first baseman. Can't move around. All that's false. All that's false.
Those are the guys that haven't seen him play. Watch his game today out there. The footwork, the arm, the accuracy, the instincts. Started 2 double plays.
Well,
now the sunflower shower from his teammates. They get along and have a good time down there. When things are serious, they are serious and get the job done. Looking for win number 54 on the season. Trying to get back to 18 over 500. And boy, after the Aguilar 2-out home run, Freeman gives up a single to Shaw and walks Perez here in the 7th inning.
And Freeman has struggled as of late. I mean, he was on a pretty good run there for a while, but you know, his last 18 appearances before today, giving up 13 earned runs in 17 innings. You know, that's a 688 earned run average. It's going to go up today.
Here's Saladino. Now the Brewers are trying to secure a win here today. The Cubs are out in front of Cincinnati late in that game in Chicago, 5-4. They're in the top of the 8th. Saladino walked his first trip up. Officially 0 for 2 today. 6-1 Milwaukee. Saladino had one of the 3 Milwaukee errors today. But the errors have not come back to bite this Brewer team here today. Got 3 double plays to counter the errors. Three and 1 the count. Freeman just doesn't have it after that Aguilar home run. And another walk, bases loaded. So he got the first 2 batters, and then a 2-out home run for Aguilar, a Shaw single, a Perez walk, and now a Saladino walk. And they're loaded up for Eric Kratz. Boy, this would be a perfect time for him to get that swing back. And here comes Brian Snitker. He's going to make a pitching change here. So Freeman got the first 2 and then loaded up the bases. So a pitching change here in the Brewers 7th. We'll set it when we come back. after a home run by Jesus Aguilar. So Evan Phillips comes in relief now. And in a tight jam, his team already down 6-1, and any hope of coming back here may rest on his shoulders as he faces Eric Kratz. Again, bases loaded, 2 down. Brewers have a run in here in this inning on the home run. Kratz, fly ball left field. Didn't get it all. Culberson got it for the final out. So a 6-1 game and a family with a little flair. As Jesus Aguilar's son at Family Day, a little flip of the bat, big smile for him, and so does Dad after the big home run. Mugging for the camera as well. They're having a good time here at Family Day and in that dugout. Wisconsin and Brewers baseball wherever you go. Wouldn't be a bad idea to finish out today and the road trip as well as an option there. Nice crowd again here at Miller Park. Taylor Williams in for appearance number 32 for the Brewers as they open up the 8th inning with a 6-1 lead.
Yeah, pitched yesterday against the Braves, tossed a scoreless inning, had a couple of strikeouts in there. Yeah, bottom half of the order got right-handers coming up. Suzuki right-handed, Camargo a switch hitter, and then right-handers after that. We are told it is a complete sellout today here at Miller Park.
There you go.
43,262.
That is a standing room only type crowd
on
today.
Robin Yount retro jersey day.
That makes sense.
That's the 4th sellout of the year this year so far.
A lot of games have seemed like a sellout when you're packing 35, 36, 37, 38,000 like yesterday, and a good start for Williams as he gets Suzuki swinging.
Hey, today's time of the game winner, Todd and Barb's Rapids Resort in Asseltane. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they'll get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. I think I completely destroyed the pronunciation of that town.
I got to tell you, I've been around a long time and I have not seen that name.
I think it's Athelstain. My apologies to all those up there at Todd and Barb's Rapids Resort. That's up in Marinette County, north of Crivets.
Beautiful country again, especially this time of year.
They had good grouse hunting up there.
Is that right?
I'm told.
Okay. Sometimes, Rock, when you make statements like that, I think they're firsthand.
Well, I have gone up there before. I never got any grouse, so I'm told it's good grouse hunting. I got skunked up there.
Did you?
Yeah. Saw a lot of porcupines, but got some good walking in.
You weren't hunting for those. Huh?
No, you don't shoot porcupines, and they don't bother anybody.
You bother them more than anything, right?
Right. I just want to be left alone.
Isn't that how it goes? Just leave them alone.
Yeah. Well, don't try and pick them up.
Taylor Williams in for some important work here. Wants to keep this Braves team off the base paths. Good start with a strikeout on Suzuki. Here's Camargo. But it's interesting, Rock. There have been a lot of scouts that have come through Milwaukee here this week, and we have a chance sometimes to catch up with them and just to get their opinion on the Brewers, and they can't help first and foremost talking about how strong the bullpen is. When you're just simply saying, you know, what do you think of the Brewers' chances? How do you guys look at them outside with a good pennant stretch run here, and say, man, they've got that bullpen. That is huge.
And it's not just one or two guys, right? I mean, everybody down there has got it done. I mean, you can't put together those kind of numbers with guys coming in struggling on a regular basis. You know, the reason that the Brewers have so much movement in that bullpen is basically because, you know, that last guy, you know, that final piece to the bullpen, the long reliever, guys like Woodruff, Adrian Hauser, Wilkerson has come up in that role. But that's the area the bullpen has been bounced around back and forth a lot. The rest of the guys have stayed pat.
Aguilar flips to Williams for the second out.
And the other thing is, I mean, and knock on wood, except for the Corey Knebel injury, they've been relatively healthy. And I'm knocking on wood.
I am too. I got you. And Corey Knebel really wasn't under a lot of pressure when he came back either, to go right into that closer role with the success of a lot of guys around him, which obviously has helped now, because now he's solidified himself. He's starting to pile up the saves and that important ninth inning use.
And the Brewers didn't feel pressure to bring him back too soon because of the success of everybody else closing those games down.
Here's Culberson with 2 down. Taylor Williams has quietly put himself in a good spot in high leverage situations in that bullpen as well. Pouring in strikes. Here's the 0-2. Little chopper again. Aguilar will race to the bag and win that race against Culberson for the 3rd out. And the Brewers through 7.5, and another big smile from Jesus Aguilar.
Nelly's corner. And Jerry, as we always do, we kind of brainstorm about what we wanted to talk about. What did we want to talk about? The pitching, the hitting, the defense, and really it has been great in all facets of the game for the Brewers. As you mentioned, Brewers just playing good baseball all around.
Yeah, you want to finish out this homestand strong, and they've done that. You look at the balance of this ball club. They get the good, strong pitching from Guerra. You got good offense. You get put 6 runs on the board. And how about the defense today? Yeah. 3 big double plays.
They do have 3 errors in the game, but they were kind of suspect errors for the Brewers. Now, coming up on Brewers Live, we'll take a look at Hernan Perez continuing to swing a hot stick. Junior Guerra, another quality outing from him. And, of course, we were here for manager Craig Counsell. But for now, let's head back to Craig Kashawn and Bill Schroeder for the remainder of the game.
Okay, guys, thanks. Looking forward to Brewers Live coming up after the ball game, as always. And Eric Thames pinch hitting right now in the pitcher spot to lead off the 8th inning. A 6-1 Brewer advantage. And those 3 errors that Dario mentioned, 2 of those errors were erased on double plays. The Brewers were 3 double plays today, so that's the good news in those particular innings.
Yeah, the one error that the Brewers committed that maybe cost them a run was that short fly ball in the left field off the glove of Saladino. I thought that was a tough play. I mean, it went a long way to get that. Looking back up into the sun, it could have easily been a base hit.
Thames right field, and look at that one travel. My goodness. Eric Thames with a pinch hit home run.
I think that one went into the Brewers players parking lot.
Wow.
I mean, did that go over the bleachers? I think it did, didn't it?
It sure looked like it.
Oh,
a lot of people looking behind themselves up there past that second deck.
I hope my truck's all right out there. Wow. My, oh my. Yeah.
Eric Thames, boy, what a pop that was. 7-1 now, Milwaukee. You're not going to see too many BP balls going that far.
Oh my goodness.
VR going the other way, and this one over the head of Culberson. And a double for Jonathan VR.
Misplayed that one badly. Oh, look at this. There's a slider up, middle in. I think it went completely out of the ballpark. My goodness. I mean, you can't hit a ball any harder than that. And Eric Thames, not a bad day at the office. 1 for 1 with a homer. 464 feet. No, it didn't go over everything. There it is, right at the top. My goodness, 108 exit velocity. I thought it left the entire ballpark, but it looked like it hit the railing right on the back.
Yeah.
And came back in.
Very close. 13th home run for Thames. His first is a pinch hitter in his career, by the way. Now the Brewers had that string of 12 games in a row with a home run snapped yesterday, and right back at it here today. That was their 2nd long ball today. Perez had the other one. Actually, their 3rd. Of course, Jesus Aguilar last inning.
How can you forget Aguilar?
Tell you what, it's a busy scorecard today with Milwaukee's offense.
Yeah.
That's the good news. 7 runs on 9 hits.
And for most of the game, although the Brewers have been in the lead the entire game, the Braves had out-hit the Brewers until this inning.
Brewers have also drawn 7 walks today, Rock.
Yeah.
Kristen Yelich now in 3-2.
Yeah, the Braves had come in with the 2nd best starting rotation earned run average, and 2 of the games, 2 of the 4, Braves pitchers haven't been able to make it to the 4th inning.
And Yelich draws the walk. So 2 aboard here, nobody out in the Brewer 8th.
Or I should say make it out of the 4th inning.
Here comes Lorenzo Cain. What was the distance on that Thames? 464?
464.
Well, only 8 other home runs have been longer in baseball, the entire majors this year, than that one. I believe it after watching that one go. You're right. I'm a little surprised that didn't leave the ballpark.
Man. Amazing. These guys are something, the way they're playing.
Cain back after a 12-game absence on the disabled list for the first time today. He's had a pretty good game. He singled, been on base twice, scored a run, thrown out a runner, trying to tag from first at second base. So he has another assist, which is tied for the league lead among outfielders. And we shall see by the end of the day how many Brewers wind up as All-Stars. A lot of top reporters around Major League Baseball are saying Cain and Yelich, Aguilar and Hader could be the 4 named. And the Brewers have never had more than 4 named to an All-Star team. The last time they had as many was back in 2014 when they had Gomez, Lucroy, and Ramirez as starters. And then Francisco Rodriguez was named to the pitching staff. He also had 4 back in 2007 with Fielder and Hardy and Francisco Cordero and Ben Sheets. Cain, little roller to short, and Swanson will take it himself to retire the runner at second for the first out here in the 8th. VR advances to third, and Cain safe at first. Interesting decision there.
Well, Lorenzo running hard. It's good to see him, running. It looks like he's pain-free. He's free and easy getting down that line. A little bit surprised with a 6-run lead. You don't take him out. Get him off his feet. Just coming off the disabled list.
That's a tough guy to get out of the lineup, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aguilar back in there, hit a home run his last trip in the last inning in the 7th.
Of course, with the way this Braves offense is, you are never out of a game. This is another 2-strike home run by Jesus Aguilar, a changeup up and away, drives it out of here to right field. He's now got 11 2-strike, or I should say, 11 2-strike home runs this year.
And what's the count? 0-2 right now. Only Jesus Aguilar would take a 2-strike count as something positive right now, I think.
Yeah, well, he's confident in hitting in any count, but he will shorten up, and because he has so much power, even by shortening up, just trying to put the ball in play, he's got enough to hit him out.
Aguilar left field, hit pretty well. Culberson going back, gone! His second home run in as many at-bats for Jesus Aguilar. Get this guy in the All-Star game. My goodness.
It would be a travesty if he doesn't make it. Unbelievable what this guy's done. Another 2-strike homer. My, oh my.
Home run number 22 for Aguilar. 3 more RBIs, so it's a 2-home run day. 4 RBIs for the Brewer first baseman. And he goes through the gauntlet. Look at this touch. That's his 5th career multi-home run game.
63 RBIs now with 22 homers, hitting over 300. goodness. Up and in, 96 miles an hour, not enough on it to get it by him, and still able to launch it on out of here. Just an unbelievable success with 2 strikes. Nice short stroke. See ya.
And you know what I love about this guy? 1 to right, 1 to left.
Yeah.
He's covering it all.
It's his game. Brewers now with a 10-1 lead.
There's Travis Shaw. Still only 1 down here in the 8th inning. 4 runs already in. 4th home run today by Milwaukee. And we're getting word in that Adam Duvall just homered in the 9th for the Reds to tie the game against Chicago.
Nice.
How about that for timing? Shaw draws the walk. Boy, Braves pitching can do nothing against Brewer hitting here in this game. They have struggled from the beginning. That's the 8th Brewer walk of the game.
Guerra had a nice 2 innings, 6 up, 6 down, but other than that, you're right. I mean, it's been a grind every inning just about. Brewers now with 10 runs, 10 hits. They walked a bunch.
Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. The Brewers head to Miami, and Chase Anderson will get things going. Yolis Chacin in game 2, and then Freddie Peralta in game 3 on Wednesday night. All those games here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Pregame show starting at 5:30 Central Time. So we're looking forward to the road trip before they finish in Pittsburgh for a 5-game series, and then the All-Star break.
All 3 Brewers starters have been throwing the baseball well. Chase pitched really well his last time out. No decision.
Yeah, Chase Anderson in a groove right now for Milwaukee, not allowing many base runners at all via hits or allowing anybody to get on via the walk. Boy, if he can stay like this for the better stretch of the season, there's your ace. Double pump, and they still get Perez on a close play over there. Camargo, maybe he lost the grip, wasn't sure. You think he forgot there was a runner at first? He could have started a double play. I don't know.
It looked like to me he was starting to head into the dugout. Maybe he forgot how many outs there were. He did lose the handle on it. And with the big arm able to get Perez by half a step. And after the throw, he took a step toward the dugout, maybe thinking the inning was over.
Might be the second time this inning they could have attempted to turn a double play and didn't. The shortstop Swanson elected not to earlier this inning. So Shaw out at second base with 2 down for Tyler Saladino. This is the third time this season the Brewers have had 4 home runs in the game. The first time, though, here at Miller Park. Previous 2 were at Arizona and against the White Sox in Chicago. Hometown fans like those home runs here at Miller Park. Saladino left, going to be out. Culberson catches up to it, looking into the sun. Couple of home runs so this inning. Eric Thames loses one here at Miller Park, and then Jesus Aguilar says time for another multi-home run game. as he goes to left. 10-1 Milwaukee. For Milwaukee here, a 10-1 lead as we go to the top of the 9th inning. They are trying to put away the Braves here today and take 3 of 4 from the NL East leading Atlanta Braves, and trying to add to their total here. The Brewers are as the best team in the National League as Jacob Barnes comes in to close things out here in the 9th.
Well, Barnes struggled his last time out. That was on Friday. Did not record an out. 5 batters came up, 4 hits, 3 runs. So a good opportunity for Barnes to get it back again. Brewers looking to go 6-1 on the homestand as they enter their last road trip before the All-Star break.
That is quite a push here for the final couple of weeks going into that All-Star break, and if they can keep that going on the road. Ken Broxton out in center field now for Lorenzo Cain, and Eric Thames stays in and plays first for Jesus Aguilar, who'll take his 2 home runs to the bench.
Get Lorenzo Cain out of there, let him sit it out, the rest of it. Get him an inning off. Get ready for Miami.
Dansby Swanson the batter. Don't forget, less than 2 hours they'll be announcing the All-Star teams. 64 players going between the 2 leagues. Talked about the potential of 4 maybe or more Brewer players going. Here's the other thing: if you add some guys into the mix who deserve to be there, who knows who the final vote will turn out to be as well. There's usually 5, 4, 5 on that. A nice strikeout for Barnes. He's got to feel good after his last outing. Good way to start the 9th inning here.
Well, it's usually all about the cut fastball for Jacob. When he's got it, he's going to have a good outing. When he doesn't, he gets roughed up just like he did last time out.
There's Danny Santana batting for the 2nd time. Yeah, 4's been the high water mark for Milwaukee as far as a single year and all-star appearances go. Back in '83, Ted Simmons, Robin Yount, Cecil Cooper, Ben Oglivie. It was Coop, Yount, and Oglivie in '82 along with Raleigh Fingers. 1980, Molitor, Oglivie, Cooper, and Yount. But after that early '80s stretch from 1984 to 2005, a 22-year stretch, they never had more than 2. In fact, 16 of those years, they only had the minimum of 1 representative. And last year was just Corey Knebel.
Yeah, in the early 2000s, I mean, the Brewers would have 1 representative of the All-Star team because every team needed to have one.
Right.
The lean years.
This year they need to have a lot. One down here in the 9th. And he loses Santana, so a 1-out walk issued by Jacob Barnes.
These are important outings for guys like Jacob. And Brewers going to have to be making some moves. He can be extremely tough to hit, but there are times when he struggles, and he's in the midst of one of those stretches.
Here's Tyler Flowers to face Barnes. How about double play number 4? Well, it won't happen here as the runner will take second. So Santana moves up. Barnes has to work against Flowers. And this one slammed into center field, base hit. This will play to run as Flowers, the pinch hitter, brings home Santana. So a 10-2 ball game now.
And that cut fastball up down the middle of the plate. Flowers didn't hit it all that well, but put a bat on it. There you see the cutter grip. Didn't have a lot of movement. It was off the end of the bat, but Flowers able to punch it into center for an RBI.
Here's Albies. First pitch, a strike from Jacob Barnes. Well, this would be a nice series for Milwaukee to finish up here against Atlanta. The Braves have not lost a series in Milwaukee since 2013. So it's been several years here that the Brewers have not been able to protect the home ballpark against this club. Only come in once a year. It's all about timing now, though, and the timing really important for Milwaukee. Keep getting these wins, trying to get back to 18 over 500. Cubs are now batting in the bottom of the 9th of a game that was tied in the top of the 9th on Duvall's home run. Runner at third for the Cubs with 1 out, so we'll see how long that lasts. Barnes high, 1-2. Junior Guerra trying to pick up his 6th win. His ERA today lowered to 2.79. How good has this guy been? Making his 17th start today. 6 strong innings, just 1 earned run given up by Junior Guerra. He only had 1 clean inning. Worked around some of his mistakes.
And he really was able to get through the game really without his good split.
Yeah.
He had 1 inning, maybe 1 to 2 innings where the pitch was a good one for him, but for the most part struggled with that split-fingered fastball today. And that's the thing you like about Guerra, and you like about a lot of these guys. I mean, even though they don't have their best stuff, a lot of the times they're able to grind through it. Holding the Braves, one of the best hitting teams in the National League, only 1 run while he was in there.
Saying a lot. And these Braves batters can throw some fear into a lot of pitchers, and have this season. The bouncer to Aguilar, and Barnes covers for the 2nd out. All right, 1 more out to go for the Brewers to secure a win here, up 10-2. Sellout crowd here this afternoon. First pitch, a strike to Freddie Freeman. We'll hear from Craig Counsell coming up after the ball game. Sophia will be on the field with player interviews as well coming up in moments. Dario and Augie will have the post-game show from Nelly's Corner here at Miller Park. The 0-1. Missing low, 1-1. Barnes deals to Freeman. High and outside. 2-1. Cubs have now loaded the bases with 2 down in that game against the Reds. It's still 5-5, bottom of the 9th at Wrigley. If the Reds are able to come back and win that game, and if the Brewers secure this win, their lead would be back to 2.5 entering the next portion of the work week. This one hit to left, and Yelich loses this one in the sun. It was over his head, and another run will come in, and a RBI double for Freddie Freeman. That's a tough look out there for a left fielder.
Yeah, I don't think Yelich ever really saw it. I mean, it is tough right now out there with the glass panels. You see the bright sunshine, in his face, and he never felt comfortable around that baseball at all. This is a tough time of day. And for that sun out in left field, this is a really good swing. Yelich just saying, as long as I just hope it doesn't hit me. Because really never saw it all that well.
Well, we were talking to Kristen the other day about playing left field late afternoons, even hitting with the shadows here. And there's 2 different sets of shadows over the playing surface of the field right now. As beautiful as this ballpark is, it is not an easy one to play at certain times of the day. This shadow out there in left field is directly behind him, so he's got that glove up. He's got the shades on now.
Yeah, and really, it's really not a home field advantage, because if you can't see the ball, it doesn't matter if you're home or road. I mean, you might be able to get used to it in some fashion, maybe at the plate, as the shadows come in and out of the game. But when you're looking into that sun, even if you're used to it, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't help you.
There's Christian, the big set of glasses on out there. He's got a Gold Glove in his belt, of course. Well, with that bases loaded 2 out in that game at Wrigley, the Reds put in an extra fielder in the infield and get the out, so extra innings on the way from Wrigley, tied 5-5. How about that move?
Yeah, well done.
Bring that outfielder in. Here's Nick Markakis as this inning continues. And Jacob Barnes having a hard time, a 3-0 count.
Yeah, back-to-back outings, he has really struggled. Yeah, walk, couple of hits, 2 runs in, 3-0 to Markakis.
Can't assume anything with a big lead. Nothing is given in this game of baseball.
And he just keeps firing that cutter one after another. He's just trying to get a feel for it right now. He's got a big fastball. It's an effective pitch for him, but I think the idea is for Jacob is to keep throwing that cutter until he starts throwing them consistently.
The 3-1. Markakis takes another strike, 3-2. So now they'll get on their feet here at Miller Park. Strike away from a win. 10-3 the score right now here in the 9th. Brewers trying to close out a homestand and go 6-1 in their 7 games here in front of a very appreciative crowd. They're loving their team here in 2018. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And this one's finally over as Barnes gives up a couple of runs here in the 9th inning, but closes things out. And the Brewers a winner 10-3 over the Braves. They take 3 of 4 in a showdown of division leaders in the National League.
Yeah, just continuing to play really good baseball. I mean, you know, a little bit of shoddy defense here and there, but the double plays made a big difference. 4 home runs. You're not going to lose many games with 4 homers. And by the way, what's your record in 3 broadcasts?
I'm going 3-0, my friend.
3-0. You can't quit now.
I'll be back soon enough.
Jump on that plane. I mean, you got to keep that going.
I will be back soon enough. Filling in for BA here, and it's been a great weekend working with you and everybody on the crew. I appreciate it.
Well done, buddy.
10-3, the Brewers over the Braves. Lots to talk about. Post-game reaction all on the way. Let's send it out to Dario.
Thanks so much, Craig. Well, the Brewers wrapping up their final homestand before the All-Star break with a 6-1 record, taking this 4-game set from the Braves 3-1. Coming up on Brewers Live, we'll hear from Andrew Craig Counsell. Also talk about some Guerra outing and the long ball heroics by the Brewers.